Hello again, my dudes. This is Kadima with another Dragon's Dogma 2 build video, this time using the warrior vocation. Now, let's talk about two very important things. First, this looks badass. Come on, be honest, guys. It looks absolutely badass. Second thing, thank you so much for the 2.5k subscribers. I truly appreciate your support, and I'm very thankful for you who have subscribed and stayed with the channel for this long. Um, but now let's talk about the warrior. Dragon's Dogma 2. The warrior class is an absolute hitting machine. It just, when it hits, it does a tremendous amount of damage. Yes, it does hit slowly. You are not going to be the fastest hitting vocation, but every time you hit, if you do it right, you are going to do much more damage than everybody else. And also, there are a few ways to actually make you able to hit faster than you usually do. Um, so let's talk about the equipment I'm using for this build. So I'm using the Dragon's Bite, which currently gives me a strength of 1019, 237 magic, slash strength is 100%, and then it has knockdown power of 944. As you can see, I have upgraded the weapon using the dwarf blacksmithing, which increases the knockdown power. It does also increase strength, but using this weapon, what you truly want is to have as much knockdown power as possible. Because the reason for this is when you are using the warrior, you are going to do much more damage the moment that your enemy, especially big monsters, are down on the floor and you can actually aim at their weak spots. That will massively increase your damage output if they are down. So the higher your knockdown power, the more you will be able to do tremendous more damage once they are down. This applies to bigger monsters, of course, because with 1019 strength, most of the common enemies are not going to last a long time. You can actually one-shot them most times if you play like I do. I like to jump around and land heavy hits on their heads, or just do one skill that normally one-shots them anyway. But let's talk about my armor. I'm using endgame armor on all my slots, and they are all fully upgraded with the Vermundian um, upgrade, because I like to have balance defense, magic defense. Um, so I tend to go for that for all my armors. Um, so with this piece, we got 465 defense. We got the Dominator's armor, which gives us 624. The Vanguarder's Greaves, which gives us 506. And then we have the Champion's Mantle, which is this absolutely amazing cloak, which you get again from the Seeker tokens. For the rings, I'm using the Ring of Triumph. I understand that once you are very high level, this might not even make much of a difference, but as of right now, it does make a difference. If I remove it, you can see straight away that I go to lightweight, and I want to be heavy, very light, so I want this ring on. It does help on the long scale. I'm currently level 95. I have 2,352 health, 1,258 stamina. Now, when you look at the stats on the right, the 1,019 strength are there, but the knockdown power is increased because of the ring, so it goes all the way to 1,059. So this means that every time you hit something, you are most likely going to knock them down straight away. I am currently using, of course, the Arc of Might, which is the ultimate skill for the warrior. This basically does two swings, one sideways and one up downwards, which they are going to do a tremendous amount of damage. This damage will be significantly higher if you actually aim at a weak spot of your enemies, but also if you do that while they are knocked down. So let's imagine you are fighting a dragon, you manage to knock them down. What you have to do is try to position yourself close to the heart and then perform the Arc of Might. and it doesn't really matter how much HP the dragon has left. I guarantee you will most likely one-shot the bastard. In any case, let's talk about the next skill that I'm using, the Windstorm Slash. Now, the reason why I'm using this skill is, as I said, the warrior has the tendency to hit very slowly. This skill will allow you to bypass that problem. You can also do that with your normal attacks, with your square, because if you tap square at the right time, because of the core skill, um, this one, employs the user's momentum on unleashing an additional Mighty Sweep. So when you are using Mighty Sweep, if you press square at the right time, so basically when it's right at the end of the movement, your next blow will be faster and faster and faster, but the damage will remain the same. As in, if you use the Windstorm Slash, you will do slightly more damage with each hit. So if you time it right, and as you can see, uh, the speed increases, the damage increases, but also the last hit from the combo does a tremendous amount of damage. So that's the number one reason why I'm using this skill. Another skill that it's basically a must-have for the warrior is the Ravening Lunge. Basically, this works as a transversal mechanic as well. So you can basically use this to speed through certain areas of the map. Yes, this consumes stamina, but um, it will allow you to go past multiple enemies. If you do it correctly, you can just activate the skill, keep a hold of it, and you'll just navigate through the map with ease. The skill itself basically just pierces an enemy. You can then aim at a wall, and you will just pin them to the wall and do a tremendous amount of damage. Last but not least is actually the first skill you get from the warrior, which is the Skyward Sunder, which then upgrades to Heavenward Sunder, which is your go-to ability um, to knock down enemies. You can actually charge it to full charge, and if you do that, because of the breakneck strike, you will do more damage if you release the button immediately after the attack is charged. Um, Another thing you want to keep in mind is the augments. The augments make quite the difference for this class. So I'm using the following: pertinacity, um, which improves your ability to break through an opponent's guard. So if skeletons are guarding, or um, goblins are guarding, you are going to break through their guard faster by having this on your warrior. I'm using dominance, which augments your knockdown power. You must have this with a warrior because the goal is to knock down enemies. So this is a must have. I'm using exaltation, which augments your stamina recovery speed. Basically, because when you do the might arc of might, you'll be so exposed at the end of it that you will really want your stamina to recover as soon as possible so you can go back into action. It also helps if you're using a mage with the infinite stamina skill, so you can just keep on going even after using Arc of Might. You'll still be able to keep going if he had just used that skill. Lethality increases damage dealt when striking a target's vitals. So this is why it's important when you use your ultimate, you aim at the weak spots so you can do way more damage. Zeal reduces the stamina consumed when performing a weapon skill. This is a must-have for pretty much all the classes, in my opinion. The less stamina you consume performing skills, the more stamina you have available to perform more skills. Verb. Now, this one doesn't necessarily have to be here. It doesn't really do much. It gives you 30 strength. But the reason why I'm using it, it's because I want to have more than 1000 strength. And if I take it off, I will have 980 something. So I just put this on so I can go past the 1000 strength mark. Now, this is the build when it comes to what I'm using. Best thing to do now is give you a few examples on how build actually shines when using it in combat. On this first example I'm going to give you, I'm fighting small enemies, but the ones that are tough to kill due to their high defense values. Now, unfortunately, I was aiming very poorly at the start of this fight. As you can see, I did not one, but two heavenward attacks that completely missed for some reason. But then I decided to try again, and I got interrupted. Amazing, I was doing very well. In any case, I decided to just go with the normal square hits. And as you can see, I'm timing them just right for the swings to be more fluid and faster as I go. So, Mighty Sweep is by itself a slow attack, and the first swing will always be slow because it's the first swing. But then you can time it just right, and you will get multiple swings faster. Here, this time I actually got the hit to connect, and not only I made the thing fly, but I also managed to kill it straight away. Here I was about to one-shot the bird with my lunging attack, but it was actually dead. But now let's go to bigger fish. In this cave I'm going to fight two big wolves, the ones that are again harder to kill because they have very high defense. I actually didn't see the second one first straight away. But as you can see, while I'm charging the heavenward sunder, I cannot be interrupted. And I immediately stagger the enemy. As you can see, he's just there waiting to be hit. And I decided to just go with the Mighty Sweep, fast pacing for the kill. In the meantime, I actually got grabbed a hold by the other one, which is funny. I gotta say I was pissing myself when this happened, because I thought this is gonna be good for my build video, and then this guy decided to not cooperate so much. It does actually help because as you can see it didn't do that much damage. But again, back to the heavenward sunders. Every time I hit, the enemy just gets staggered. So you basically can just keep on doing this without them hitting you back, which makes for GG, easy win. Now for the next example, I'm actually fighting the worst possible boss when using the warrior, and the reason being, if the boss is high in the sky flying, you won't be able to hit them. You can still get a couple of heavenward sunders. If you do it right, you will still manage to connect if he's floating just above you. In this case, I actually managed to knock it down straight away with one hit, but I couldn't make the best out of it because he got himself up faster than I did, which made me think maybe I should change my core skills and get my augments right. But I decided not to. I'm happy with the way the build is. And that's why I'm going this way. Now, he managed to come back down, which was a big mistake. I do manage to miss the first hit, but my thieves did gangbang the guy. And when I finally connect, one shot, goodbye. Now for the final example, and this is the one that really matters, against the dragon. And not only against the dragon, because as you can see, the guy was surrounded by lizards. So I decided to go and kill the lizards at the same time. As you can see, each swing is doing quite a substantial amount of damage, and do keep in mind these lizards, these specific ones, are the ones that will deflect your hits. As you can see, my sword keeps deflecting because of this guy being in the way. Also, this helps you guys notice how much defense I actually have with this build. I'm getting hit from all sides and still barely doing any damage, but here we go. Now it's time to face the dragon. I managed to land a stone splitter hit, and then I go with another stone splitter hit that did connect, but not ideally. You want to try to aim for their tails as it does more damage. The dragon decided to not cooperate so much and set me on fire. I had to ask Gandalf to heal me a little bit because you don't want to go down on health too much. And there's the first heavenward slunder. Again, I'm trying to aim aim at the heart, as you can see, not only to do more damage, but also to try to get him to be knocked down faster. But you can see how much damage per hit we get. It's about a quarter of his HP every hit. This one was actually a big one, it did a tremendous amount of damage. I land a couple of stone splitters with the triangle just for the extra damage. He still got 4 HP bars left, and then he goes down. And when he goes down, this is when the magic happens. Arc of Might, right next to the heart, and boom, and there you go, dead. GG. And this is what I mean, if you do it right, it's an absolutely devastating machine. Thank you all so much for watching. Please leave any comments, suggestions in the comment section down below. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please do so. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio!